Good evening and welcome to the Beavers Den. As promised, we said we were going to do Ladies Night once a month featuring our beautiful ladies in the industry in all parts, either as owners or they run lounges or they're in the marketing field. But we're going to have each month a different guest. And tonight, one of our favorite people from Dama Cigars is going to be our first guest, along with the CEO of Angry Beaver Cigars and my beautiful wife, Dawn, who's sitting here. We're going to kick it off tonight. We're pretty excited about how things are going. I know that Chantel was busy and she was sliding into home plate. Hopefully she's enjoying a little bit of vino before we get started. But we're going to kick it off. As you all know, I'm your host, Bobby C., with my co-host, Lou P. We're also the workers for the beautiful Dawn with Angry Beaver Cigars. So you're going to see us more or less running around doing the legwork. And we're going to get into how the company started and ask a few questions of Dawn. And then I promise we're going to bring on the beautiful Chantel with Dama Cigars. Each one of us are smoking a Dama. What are you smoking, Lou?
I'm smoking the Ace.
The Ace.
Yeah.
Dawn, what do you have?
I'm smoking the Flush.
And I am smoking the Queen. And I have been accused of a lot of things in my life, and that's not one of them. But this is a fabulous Barber Pole cigar. As Lou knows, one of my favorite cigars are Barber Poles.
Absolutely.
So our blends, and we'll talk about our blends again later, our blend for charity that we're coming up with, and that is going to be with BAM Cigars and Ish, is going to be the operator blend, which we're kicking around, possibly doing some type of Barber Pole.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Something different.
Something different, a little different from the other blends we have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed. So,
Here's Johnny.
there you go. We were just talking before we came on, just so you know where we're at, so you're not lost. And Lou's like, oh, I'm like Ed McMahon. He just has to, speak up a little and project. I'm going to buy him a big boom mic and just hang it in front of him. Anyway, without further ado, my beautiful wife, Dawn Caruso.
Hi.
So, when was the first time that you actually smoked a cigar?
So I would say it was about 9-10 years ago.
You remember where it was?
I don't, but I'm sure you do.
Of course I do.
Right.
How can you forget?
So anyway, I remember I'd never ever smoked before I met you.
Right.
So I was afraid to look really silly, first off the bat. And God forbid I had inhaled, because I would have never lived it down. You would have made fun of me for the rest of the lifetime.
I don't make fun of you. I'm not that type
But you
of
didn't
guy.
turn green.
She didn't turn
I did
green.
not.
That's a plus.
He did.
Yes, I remember. So we were in St. Augustine, and she wanted to try a cigar, and so she started out with the CAO Moon Dance. You know those flavored
And the cherry.
and the cherry blends.
Basic.
So she started smoking them for a while, and then I had to go out and find boxes of the larger ones because it was the small tins. And then she got bored, and we actually started hanging out with Tony Nardone of Executive Cigars in Melbourne. And he really taught us a lot about the industry and blends. And then Dawn went away completely from the flavored blends.
I graduated.
Graduated.
Okay. It's much like wine.
Which, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, your palate, you get that acquired
Yep.
taste, you appreciate
The
different
sweetness
nuances.
gets too sweet, so you want to kind of move along.
So what's the whole allure with you and cigars, besides the fact that your husband smokes and every one of his friends smoke?
Well, initially, it is an addiction.
A little bit.
I don't know how many we were smoking per day before 2017. Probably too much, I would say. So it's fun, it's enjoyable, and you can, it's fun to visit different lounges and meet people that have that common interest or passion.
Well, that's how we met Lou.
That's right. Exactly.
Right? Met Lou at his and her cigar lounge in Cocoa Village.
Wasn't even planned.
Wasn't
Just
planned.
happened.
All right, let's go back a minute. Just talking about your whole involvement. So, what made you want to become an owner of a cigar company? And
Well, so an opportunity presented itself, and so what better to engage in something, a business, if you will, and something you enjoy.
and besides the fact that
Perfect.
Lou and I just kept talking about it and not doing anything.
Yeah, so I said, so just put it into action. Stop running your mouths. Just make it happen.
So you made it happen for us.
I helped you.
So you're
out.
in the bigger chair.
In the big, right? That's why I'm sitting down in a little chair,
Right.
which is good because I mean, the face of the company should be somebody beautiful,
Not
Well-
us.
not Lou and I.
Well, and I'm the support.
Like Chantel.
I keep you guys in line
You do keep us in mind.
when it needs to be.
Well, I'm noted with coming up with the color of the company and everything.
Really?
I'm not.
No.
How did that come about?
I think
He's
maybe
the color guy.
I'm the color guy. I'm the color guy or gal. So you came up with the name.
Right.
I came up with the color because
Which is beautiful.
It is cool.
Right.
Get a
So
lot of
it-
compliments.
Lavender is the way to go.
It is very cool.
lavender, lilac, and lime green.
Yeah.
So Bobby and I had learned you gotta come up with a catchy phrase to capture people's attention.
And it
Right?
was, and it was going
So-
through a car wash.
So everything just kind of fell into place. It wasn't even difficult. It was like boom, 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 boom.
It hasn't been difficult. And I mean, what I like is that you're so involved and you go with us to the lounges and we'll be in New Orleans in April at our first show.
It's gonna be so much fun.
We'll be down at Banff Cigar Lounge at the Polo Club on the 22nd for Ish's grand opening.
More fun.
More fun. And hopefully our line will be available.
Be nice to put them on the shelves that
Be
day.
nice to put them on the shelves that day. And if you recall about what you just said about the name and putting it out there and coming up with different phrases that, because I sit up at night and come up with different stupid things. And it was a couple of conversations with Robert Caldwell.
Actually, you know what? You're right. 'Cause so that's where he had educated you and I
Yes.
when we happened to be at Executive Cigar in Melbourne.
Yeah, when I
And he
met him that night.
Yep, and he
Well,
said it's going to you have to have a catchy phrase.
yeah, and
That's
and
shared that with us.
his first off, 100% props to Robert because he's a marketing genius, and I built up a really good friendship with him before I even thought about doing anything. And through the conversations was this whole marketing, and names and phrases. And
how
I mean, if you
important
look
it
at
was.
and if you look at his T-shirts and his sweat, it's funny.
Yep.
So I do credit, and we do credit having those conversations with Robert. I thank you, and we got to get him on one of these nights on the den as well.
Well, I was saying to you earlier, I couldn't remember who shared that with us, but that's exactly
It was
what
Robert.
was.
Absolutely.
I remember his words.
I don't have to call him when I hang up tonight. I mean, we're done with this tonight. Call him and thank him again. So without further ado, because we don't really need to speak about Angry Beaver right now, the CEO of Dama Cigars, and by the way, I'm enjoying this cigar. Really enjoying the cigar. I've never had one before. Lou broke out a box of them. Would you win them or something?
What do you want to be the queen?
I did.
I do.
Like the sampler pack that Chantel has.
Which is excellent, by the way. So we're going
Great
to
packaging.
it. Not only is the
Yeah.
packaging cool.
And the cigars are great.
I told you when we first met Chantel that I was digging the bands. I was really digging the bands and her whole presentation. So instead of talking about her while she's just sitting there,
Waiting.
I'm going to put on Chantel. And I need your glasses. Sucks when you have to borrow your wife's reading glasses.
They look so good on you, though.
Yeah, they do. They look amazing. Hey, Chantel.
Hey there. Are you kidding?
How are
I want
you?
my glasses. I'm great. How are you?
Right? It's like we go to dinner or something, and I always forget my readers, and she'll have these funky glasses. I'm saying, I don't care. As long as I can see the menu, I'm good.
Have you guys ever seen the little things that slide into like a wallet?
I used to have those, the thin optics.
They,
I don't.
do they
Yeah.
suck? Or are they good?
No, the concept is great. I've broken many pairs. They just break after a while, and they're supposed to have a lifetime warranty, but blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah, right. Well,
the concept was great. I used to have it on the back of my phone and just pop them out. They
getting
were like little,
Sorry.
little Ben Franklin glasses.
sorry, I'm getting pinged.
So funny.
Yeah, but it's better than not seeing.
No, yeah.
Exactly.
So funny reader's glass story before we get started. So we're pretty close with Louis and Carmen in the new cigar lounge in his and hers. And every time we're in there, I'm always
love
grabbing.
them.
Yeah, great people. You met them. They were with us
Yes.
in
Love
Tampa.
them.
Great people.
Yes.
So I'm always grabbing
Yes.
Lou's glasses, or I'm always grabbing Dawn's glasses. So I'm like, this is stupid. So I went to the dollar store and got a plastic bucket and grabbed all of these readers, threw them in a plastic bucket, every color, brought them back there, and I said, okay, if anybody needs readers, it's behind the bar in the bucket.
From the $1.25 store. I love it.
Yeah. Hey,
Right.
I went all out on the readers. I really did. So, Chantel, how did you get started in the industry?
Well, first of all, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I mean that.
Now, we
you know,
want you to be the first.
I know, and it's such an honor. I mean that genuinely from
Thank you.
my heart. Dawn, I didn't even realize the correlation until I remember you guys asking me, right, when we met each other.
Yep.
And you said somewhere down the road. And then when you posted that photograph, the connection, all of us, I saw Dawn, I go, oh my God, I love her. I go, this is what this is. I was even more excited. No offense, Lou. But I was very much so. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and this platform. I really appreciate you. Very
Absolutely.
much.
You deserve
Thank you. Thank you. How I got started. Gosh, Reader's Digest version, if anybody's old enough out there, or maybe footnotes or something, Cliff Notes, I don't know. So I always had an interest. My father was into cigars my whole life, during my childhood as well. He was a professional champion poker player in Vegas. And
Nice.
yeah, so I just always had this thing, right? I was around it all the time from a very young age, like 11. And I have to laugh because, Dawn, I so appreciate you. You just smoked your first stick like 10 years ago, right? No. So when I was like 16, this is a little sidebar. When I was 16, I was living with my mom and my stepfather, not my father. He was in Vegas. I was in Maine, actually. And I smoked a cigar. I thought they wouldn't know. I mean, you could smoke a cigarette, you could smoke pot back then. They wouldn't know, right? No, they smelled the cigar. So they threatened me, actually. And they told me if I smoked another one, they were going to make me inhale it. The whole entire thing. So needless to say, I was all set after that for a minute, right? For sure. But and so I always had this affinity for it. And back in the 90s, I lived in Chicago, or in the western suburbs, but spent a lot of time in Chicago. And that's when cigar smoking really became very popular, very mainstream, right? You could smoke even cigarettes in a restaurant. You could smoke cigars, whatever. And I'm in an area of Illinois that's very Italian. You know, there's a lot of great restaurants and sticks, right? And so I kind of got back into it in like 94. That's when, what was it? Cigar Aficionado Marvin put out one of his first layers of editions, right? For Cigar Aficionado magazine. And so, of course, I subscribed and all that. And then life moves on. And I just stopped it, right? That's it. So I had an opportunity. COVID came in. I have an retail e-commerce business in the fashion sector. COVID came in, finished me off, wiped that out. And I had done it like something for a very well-known cigar company that had brought it back into my back of my brain. And I wanted to do something with it. And I was just like, now's not the right time because my daughter was getting ready to go to college. She was graduating from high school. And so I wanted to try to stick with what I knew best. And then COVID. So then COVID came in. I go, well, no one's hiring, right? Worked myself forever. And I go, all right, well, let's take this off the shelf. You have to keep moving. So that's when this all started. Back in August 20th of 20, or I think it was 20th, 18th to the 20th of 2020.
I like the backstory. I mean, like Blue and I coming from an all-Italian family and upbringing, and I can remember my old man and the uncles and everybody smoked cigars. And I remember really young, they used to smoke those nasty cannolis. You remember what they look like? Like a dried turd?
I've seen them all back in the day.
Oh my God. They
For
were
real.
so nasty.
Yes.
Like,
like hanging, shredding. It was, yeah.
It's nothing like getting into a brand new caddy or whatever, and it smelled like those Dinobilis. And then, the uncles used to chew on them. It was just, my dad, I do. But yeah.
So I got to tell you, though, the Cadillac thing. So my father, his big thing when he was still in Maine before he went to Vegas to become a big shot, right?
Where in Maine?
In Lewiston, Auburn. It's
Dawn is from Kennebunkport.
Yes. So, well, he's from a bougie area. I'm from the
in the day when I grew up, though. I
With
keep
no
telling Bobby that.
Chantel, with no cigars, you can't find
Oh
a
no.
cigar in Kennebunkport.
Wait a second.
Currently.
You can't find one right now. You can go to a shop. Here we go. We're sidetracking. You can go to a shop in Portland, Maine. The old port. There's one shop. But you can't smoke it outside, inside, anywhere. You have to take them home. I was in a state of shock, right? No, they're very just right? For sure. But yeah, no, I come from like a very blue collar mill town, right? That's what they're known for back in the day. Like when my grandparents and my mom and stuff, it was very textile, kind of thing. So that's where my origin is. It's like right there.
Gotcha. All right, back to the caddy.
Yeah, so the caddy, so my father, it was just the caddy. The caddy was like you just said, it was like something. So he had to have a Cadillac. So when he was starting to make it, he had a business, but then he decided to try and just, do the home poker games. We won't get into it. But anyway, so he gets his Cadillac. It's white. It's got a orange Landau, call it Landau, I think, top.
Yeah.
And the interior is plaid orange. Plaid. Okay, this was his baby. So he takes myself and my girlfriend to the track, mind you, on a visitation. So we go to the track. My girlfriend decides to eat like 20 pieces of bubble yum or whatever it was, Bubblicious, vomits in my father's brand new Cadillac. That's my Cadillac story. He was not happy.
Oh my God. That's fun. That's funny. I'm sure your dad didn't think it was funny, but I find it amusing.
No, he didn't. And no, I think he handled it, though, actually really well under the circumstances and for who he is or who was, you know what I mean? We just came back from the track. He had a racehorse there and, he's all living large and whatever. And there she goes in the back of the vehicle.
I get it. I spent many day at the track with the old man. And then if we weren't at the track, we were at OTB. So
yeah, OTB.
Right?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
The little, all I remember is the little pencils.
The little pencils. That's for Keno too, pal.
It's just funny, but it's funny because everybody used to smoke cigars outside of OTB or at the track. I mean, everybody you stood with
Have the program rolled up.
had the program
Smacking their
rolled
leg.
up, right? Screaming with a cigar.
Screaming with the wait.
Hey, everyone the
with
horse
the program
loses,
in
right?
their
All the
hand.
tickets go in
Wait.
the air.
The program with the program. You
And
know,
it
in
was
their
always-
hands.
You're right. And you always seen a guy or two with a plastic bag getting all of.
Just in case there was a winner in it.
Exactly.
I never saw.
All
I
right,
don't
so-
remember that, but
Let's get back to you because
Yeah.
you're the main importance tonight. How'd you come up with the name?
Well, ironically, this was not supposed to be the name. So originally, I wanted to do a hosting business, and with cigars, and then have a blend, you know, my own cigars down the line. And then COVID came in. Obviously, there's no events, that sort of thing. So I had to bring the product to the forefront first. And it was going to be Cigar Aficionados, not OSAS, right?
Right.
LLC, everything. And I have attorney friends. No one said anything to me. Banking, you name it. The DBPR in Florida, which is our Department of Business and Professional Regulation, all of a sudden, one of the attorney friends of mine says, Chantel, that might be a conflict. I go, what are you talking about? He said, that's too close for trademark purposes because there's marks on a trademark.
Right.
Well, I wanted to fight it at first. I was like, bullshit, I've done all this, you know, that kind of thing. And then I realized, so what, I'm going to get down the road and then I'm going to have to switch everything then because Cigar Aficionado decides they're going to place, you know, parameters on me, a lawsuit, a cease and desist, whatever. So I was trying to find a name. And I genuinely, when I tell you, it had nothing to do with the name Beautiful Lady. I wasn't looking for that. I was coming up. I'm going on the National Trademark Registry. I'm going everywhere, and I'm trying to find something. I'm in almost like a panic mode. And sometimes I do best in that mode. And then all of a sudden I go, okay, Bella, I'm thinking of something that is, you know, a little more authenticated with like cigar industry and, you know, cigar farms and factories and all that stuff. And it just came to me and I go, huh. It was like 30 minutes in of me panicking. That's how quick it was. So I appreciate,
Right.
Dawn, you said it was easy. For me, it was like 30 minutes. I pulled it up on the National Trademark Registry. Done. All good. I go, there we go. And it was a lot to change everything for sure. But that's how we came up with it.
I dig it. But so you designed the labels.
I did.
I love them.
Thank you so much. So it's
they
interesting.
pop.
What
They
you
pop.
guys,
I dig 'em.
thank you. But listen, what you said earlier. So you have the Beaver cigars, right?
Yeah.
Someone's going to remember that. They won't even need to know your name. They could Google Beaver cigars or like a
Right.
Beaver picture. Same with me. And I used to think I was very concerned about, you know, like men maybe, even though like it didn't bother me all the time, but every now and again I thought, I wonder how men are going to receive this. And I've had such great feedback, especially even at the Cigar Festival that I saw you guys at, that
Right.
they said we can remember it. You know, you take
Ew.
the stick, you get rid of the wrapper, you know, I mean the ring, the band, people call it different names, and then you don't remember what you smoked. They'll remember the lips. They'll remember a
Right.
Beaver, right? They'll
Right.
remember
Well,
cigar clowns. They'll remember that's the thing.
You're right.
Yeah, so the lips.
And I never thought of
the
it that
Rolling
way.
Stones, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
It's
like
not a
classic.
crest, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And it's sexy. So I mean, it has
Thank
a good
you.
look to it.
It's not feminine.
Thank you.
No,
by
not
any
at all.
means.
No, not at all.
Well, the other thing is that she's beautiful, so it just kind of just works.
It
Thank
does.
you.
So-
I appreciate that, Dawn, but I never genuinely went into that. This with any thought process of that. I was going in as a businesswoman to make it right, and but I appreciate that. I really do. But it wasn't even in my wheelhouse. I'm thinking Bella Dama. I'm thinking a woman, genuinely, like more of a Latin, Mediterranean, European woman smoking a cigar, right? Or rolling one even, whatever it may be. That's what I had in my head. And so it's interesting how it's, you know, come around. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Well, you know how, you know, obviously women think differently than men, whatever the case may be. It worked. So I think it's priceless.
Well,
Thank
then
you.
braided the cards for your dad.
That is very cool.
That I mean, and explain a little bit about your players program.
Well, so let me tell you about, first of all, how I even came up with to do this after my dad. I mean, obviously that's why I got into it. My father was a huge cigar smoker. Partagas number, I think it was 8 or 9. My brain's going as I get older. I think it was 8. I was going somewhere with this. I just lost my train of thought with that.
You're not alone.
What is it?
You're not alone. No worries.
I mean, I just completely lost my train of thought. I went sideways over there. My brain went over here.
You
and
did
everything else.
You did it for your dad, the cards.
Oh yeah. So I knew that this was like an ode to my father because this was his jam, right? He's been deceased for, gosh, a long time, like 30 something years, right? But this is a man who came from like small means, a small town in New Rochelle, New York, who had decided he had bigger dreams than owning a roofing business, which is what he did, right? Roofing and siding, or siding. I think it was siding. Anyway, and so when I started this, I wanted it, but I didn't have that in my head either. So all of a sudden I go, you know what? My first one has to be named the King, because my father wore this medallion. He was like the king of poker, right? That was his jam, big shot, right? And so I go, okay, it's got to be the King, but I never even thought poker. And then all of a sudden I go, whoa, stop the press. We only had 3 that we started with. And I go, stop the, you know what? I'm going to name this all after poker. But ironically, I did it ass backwards. I went with the King, what'd I go with? The King, the Flush, and like the Royal, I think. Can't even remember right now. Sorry, no offense on you guys. I'm running on 3 hours sleep. So I think it was the King, the Flush, and the Royal. And like, that's so out of sequence. I don't know why, but that's what I chose. And so I just wanted it to be an ode to him. So then I said, okay, we're just going to make this all based around the world of poker. That's how it came up. All this stuff, it's serendipitous, but nothing was planned. The name wasn't planned. How the direction wasn't planned. Nothing was planned.
But it's worked. It's worked. So.
Yeah.
Your poker chips are pretty cool too. I see them on your site.
Thank you so much.
They came out cool.
Thank you. That's like the one thing I love about my business. I'm very creative in that regard. So put me in charge of like marketing, aesthetics, whatever. Put me in the back end when I have to do paperwork and accounting and stuff. It just doesn't work for me. So, and I'm a one-woman show, so it's a lot for sure.
Let me compliment you on the burn, by the way.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You know what?
Very
you can
nice.
compliment Tabacalera Aragon out of Esteli, Nicaragua. I went through several factories before I chose them when I did a relaunch. And these men, unbelievable. They took my product, the old product. I told them I wanted to keep it as close as possible. They not only did they smoke them, okay, but they took each and every one and decomposed it, went through it, the wrapper, the binder, filler. So when they sent me samples, obviously they wouldn't be the same shape or size or whatever. When they sent me the samples, they sent me, I want to say at the end of the day, when we finally got to that point, about 10. I would be like, oh my God, that's my ace. Oh my God, that's my jack. Oh my God, I don't think I like this, right? But I never, in the end, I never had to just say, oh, I choose this because it's what's left. These men are phenomenal.
So
they are a master.
Let me ask you a question. So I've been trying to figure out the sweetness flavor back end.
There is.
And I'm really enjoying it, and I'm trying to wrap my head around. You get the other notes on the earthy notes and some of the cream and flavors to it, but there is. I'm not going to ask you the Europe blend, although this is a great smoke, and I like the fact that I can't figure it out.
Thank you so much. That's actually a huge compliment. I appreciate that. So one of the things, and it's not because I'm being covert or anything like that. It's just that, you know what? At the end of the day, like the other blends I had, okay, yep, okay, I can't even pronounce it. Prelo Seco 82, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, the wrapper and the binder and filler are Nicaraguan. They are all different, every single one of them, but it is what it is. I like to keep things simple. So I think that the Queen, so the other one, the Queen does have a sweetness to it throughout, I believe, even in the last third.
Yeah, I mean, it's in layers.
Yes. And it is. And
I dig it. And I'm pretty, so I don't have an interrupter switch. It's been broken since birth.
What is it?
So, huh?
What is it?
So I tell it the way it is. I really do. And I'm not saying this because you're our guest. And
Thank you.
I'm saying it out of,
That's smooth.
as a cigar smoker and now somebody in the industry, it's really smooth, and I'm absolutely enjoying each one of the layers to it. So absolute props to you and your company.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really genuinely do. I'm that person. I've been in retail my whole life, and when I used to work like at Needless Markup, you have these women come in, they have a ton of money. I'm not going to tell them they look good in a trash bag. It's just not happening. Not for the sale, not for the repeat customer. I'm just going to be honest. And I appreciate that. Hey, there's always room for improvement, number one. Number two, everyone's palate's different, so that's what gives us all a spot in this industry.
I 100% agree. So for Bella Dama, what is new on the horizon you got?
So right now, we're finally getting into brick and mortar.
Oh, wow.
So I had it before because, for me, I mean, you have to crawl before you can walk. I needed to build the Bella Dama brand so that people just, it rang a bell. They were familiar with it, right? I needed to build my reputation as someone who puts out a great product, is a person of their word, all those things, right? And my shipping and customer service. But then when I knew what I was doing, I reached a crossroad, man, at one point several months ago, and I said, well, I've got a choice. I'm either going to fold and be very happy where I left it, or I'm going to go all in, right? And so that's what I chose to do, I decided to go all in. And I knew then that I would be able to make the next step into brick and mortar, not just e-commerce, not just, private and public events. Right. And so that's what we're doing. So as a matter of fact, today we had our second order, second company, retailer that placed the order. So yay. And then we'll have 2 more onboarding by like Monday, probably Tuesday the latest. And we have more to come. So I'm so excited. We're coming to a retailer near you.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. I
mean, that's a huge, huge step to begin with.
It really is.
I'm trying to remember where you were located. You're located down south, right? Or you're
I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida.
St. Pete.
Tampa Bay area.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to see
Lightning.
you on the 22nd.
What's that?
We'd love to see you on the 22nd at Issue's grand opening. You'd have a blast.
You're coming here?
In Wellington, in Palm Beach.
Polo Club. You're on the complete, but that's all right. You're on the other side. But wait, okay, well, let me know. It's when the 20 what?
Yeah, I'll send you the link to it.
Yeah.
It's what?
We'll send it to you, but it'd be great to sit down with you and break bread and talk. And
100%.
Yeah. And as you know, Angry Beaver is blending all of our blends. So we're pretty ecstatic about that.
I love that.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. Such a great guy. We didn't realize when Lou first introduced me to him and told me his backstory, and Ish and I had been in some of the same places together, so we got that whole thing going on as well. And besides the fact that he keeps me laughing, and
that's imperative.
Oh yeah, we do. We have a blast. So, but if you can make the 22nd, that'd be cool. We can sit down.
All right, Lou. Hey, secretary. No, I'm just kidding. Are you gonna be there too, Lou?
I'll be there.
Yes. Okay. So
yeah,
I will.
We're all going down. We're gonna have a blast.
Love.
Matter of fact, I think I don't know if it's my turn to drive it. Usually Lou drives all the time, and I feel so bad, especially the last time we went down there. It was like we didn't get home till real late, and Lou was driving a few hours. So I think we're taking the El Dorado down this time.
The El Dorado.
The old El Dorado down this time. Yeah, but it is fun. You got to see the place. It's really cool. And everybody loves seeing you anyway, so.
I know, that's so sweet. No, I love it. Please send me the information. I genuinely, there would be an 88% chance that I could be there. But I would go down and, stay overnight because it's like a 4-hour drive for me.
Oh.
But that's no big deal. Yeah, please. That would be great.
Fun.
Yeah, no, it would be a blast.
Yeah, that's
How
great.
long do you and Lou P know each other?
God, Lou, how long do we know each other?
I think pretty much when you first started it.
A while. I would say
Yeah.
probably close to probably about 3 years, somewhere around there. Yeah. About a year and maybe a year and a half in or something. Yeah, we've known each other a long time. But we never really got to interact in person until the Cigar Fest.
Correct.
So
Right.
that's the coolest thing too. You guys know. Like you have your spidey senses, right? So you have a great idea of being able to tell if people are good people. And so that's one of the things and Dawn, you touched upon it when you were talking about why you started and, that sort of thing. This is the only industry, and this is why I decided to go all in. This is the only industry I know of that has no boundaries as far as, and no, I'm not talking about boundaries as far as people being crazy. I'm talking about boundaries. So I always say, treat the janitor the same way you do the CEO, right? I've done it. I've cleaned toilets. I have waitressed. I have bartended.
Yeah.
I have done scoop shit, whatever it took, right? So
We all
you
pull
never
our panties
ever,
up the same way.
right? So you don't ever snub your nose. Are you kidding? Instead, you congratulate them for working hard to make a living. Doesn't matter, right? And this industry, that's one of these things that has been so compelling to me and has really made me go all in, like next level, to do this. This industry, and there's always bad eggs, apples, whatever you want to call it, right? In anything. But the predominance in this industry are really great people. And
absolutely. There are some tools out there, though.
Of course. 100%. But you know what?
That's the nature of the beast, anyway.
Yeah,
but
it is.
You know what
Thank
I
you.
found interesting when we were in Ybor City, I didn't realize how big the community really truly is with the cigar people. And I felt right at home because there was more women smoking cigars down there. So I thought that was really cool. Because predominantly, like when Bobby and I have been out, it's men. But there, it was so cool to see all the women.
A lot of lounges are having ladies' nights now, and you're seeing more. Hey, I got a question for you. Have you been noticing the increase in women-owned cigar companies?
I have, actually. No, that's that's a great question. Such a great question. Thank you. I have. So it's interesting. When I started this whole journey, we were less than a handful. Less. I was probably number 4. I'm talking about even familial, right?
Right.
Now it's growing. I mean, there are smaller ones that we, haven't necessarily maybe heard of or maybe heard a little bit of, but now it's growing. It's going into the other hand. So yes, I see that for sure. Very interesting.
I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is. It really is. It's been a journey, but I got to tell you guys, I have been so well received as well, which is another reason, right? You stay in the game. So well received in everything from the jump, right? The bearded community were the first ones to take me in on social media and on Instagram. I didn't even know how to hashtag. I didn't know what I was doing. And they did. And and majority of them smoke cigars, right? So they just somehow, it just worked that way. And yeah, I've known some of these guys from the very beginning, or at least close to, just like Lou. I mean, it's really, really great. It's a brother sisterhood that, there's nothing you know, it's an interesting thing. This isn't something that any husband or wife, unless somebody's just doing dirty, would ever look at anything between a man and a woman in this industry on a cigar level as being anything but brotherly, sisterly love, right? There's, you know, again, there's all sorts of motives with other people, but I'm just saying for myself, that's
Right.
how I view the men
Right.
in my industry. I view them like my family, my brothers, you know?
It's
And-
funny you said that. It's well, first off, I think that the industry is very respectful of everyone. I mean, every background.
100%.
Let's face it, Lou is the aficionado. I might be the mouthpiece, but you know, I learn more and more and more every day from Lou. You know, he's been in this for a long time and has a private collection that puts some lounge humidors to shame when we first met. But talking about the family, we actually now do family dinner Sundays with people in the industry, which I never thought would
Love
happen.
it.
But you know, and
Yes.
they talk about the power of the leaf, but I truly believe there's that connection that you could sit in a room. Here's my analogy. We go to a bar. We sit in the bar. You and I both know we're not going to talk to nobody at the bar, right? It's the bar. You go into a cigar lounge, you're sitting, you're having a smoke, and everybody's talking to each other about whatever.
It's not awkward.
It's not awkward. It's not stumbling over somebody. It's not trying to have a conversation with somebody.
Trying to impress somebody.
Or trying to impress somebody or whatever.
Oh, right?
Although Lou tries
Who
to
cares,
impress
right?
everybody. You know, but Lou tries to impress
Lou.
when we're out.
Lou.
He does that to try to put baby in a corner, but don't get it twisted. I'm just kidding with you. Because that's where Lou and I met, and we instantly,
See?
it's crazy.
See?
Became best friends the first night.
Right? This is what I'm
Huge-
saying.
A huge connection.
Yeah, and I compliment. So I went through my background is in law enforcement, organized crime, and homicide, and this was
Love it.
always something that interested me. I wanted to learn more and more and more, especially when I retired. And then the common ground, I guess is what I'm saying, is the cigars. It don't matter what walk of life you're from. This is the common ground. And then everybody gels as far as their stories go. And I met more people.
It's a shared
It is a shared.
passion.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I met more people, and we've started a charity organization now for law enforcement and military who dealing with issues with PTSD. We're going in partnership with Banff Cigars, with Ish, coming out with a blend, and the proceeds will go to different organizations. And this would have never happened if we didn't share the passion of the cigar. Our backgrounds
totally opposite.
don't have anything to do with it.
It's a totally
It's the cigar.
Believe it.
You guys, I so resonate with this because when I first got in, one of my first people that I knew, like in the, you know, amongst people, right, was Frank with the Drunken Corner, Frankie Frank. And he introduced me to Kevin Donaldson, and I became part of they asked me to be on the board of directors for the Denton Development Project, which Denton Development Project assists first responders and their families through trauma. And it was like the biggest honor of mine. I am right behind Stogies for Servicemen, Cigar Vets. Are you kidding?
Yep.
I back my blue and my military 100%. So you guys reach out to me. Not that I want to give away the farm. I keep digging deeper. But yes, I would be thrilled to promote you and to donate what I can.
We'd love
Please.
nothing more than that.
I would
be,
love that.
as our friend Boston Jimmy would say, that would be Jamazing.
Yes, Jimmy.
Jimmy,
Jimmy
yes.
to the
Hey,
nub.
Jimmy's gonna be. Isn't he coming to 22nd?
Jimmy will be there.
Jimmy will be there.
Oh, shoot. Look at this.
You know, I'm
Okay.
trying to raise your 88.
You're raising the ante.
I'm trying to raise it.
Raising the ante.
I
don't
love
think
the
I'll
thought.
play cards with you, but I'll raise the ante.
Probably not a good idea.
Anyway, I can't.
We do need to hear about the Players Club.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the Players Club. You never,
Oh, the Players
Lou
Club.
asked you.
So the Players
It's a
Club
great
is the.
concept. It
Thank
really
you
is.
so
It's a
much.
marketing. It's just phenomenal. Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for saying that. So it's the first and only incentivized membership program in the industry. I'm very proud to say that. And not saying that other places, other membership programs don't, like, maybe, kick you back a little something or something here and there. This is meant to really give back. And just because you chose Belladama Cigars and the Belladama Cigar family. And so what it is you receive, when you join the Belladama's Players Club, you receive 40% off your first order. So you're getting, which is 2 sample packs. Now that we have 3 dealer select, you can choose that as an add-on, right? But you receive the 2 sample packs. So you receive 12 sticks for 40% off my retail. And then it goes into a whole deluge of, other than the sticks, I mean, you get all kinds of stuff. You guys saw the poker chip, the patch, the comp plan. If you bring people on, you get rewarded. You have a code that you can share with other people so that they can join. And if not, you just put in new player in the promo. And what it is other than the sticks, of course, that's the most important part, but you receive playing cards. And they're randomly drawn, and you receive 2 in your first shipment. And then any order thereafter, say it's up to $75, right, for Belladama Cigars, you'll receive 2 playing cards. 100 to 150, it's like 3 playing cards, right? And you want to build a hand. So when you join, you have a portal and your own wallet. So if someone were to join, it'll show in there. If you decide to cash in a hand, your cash credits will be there. It's like a slot machine. And I also incentivize all along, right, on shows or, whatever it is, to just throw cash credits in people's wallet. And then you have someone like we have one player, he held on to his cards. He kept his cards close, right? Until he had this guy. No, he's already spent, all of $300 that was free to him. So, but I mean, obviously, he buys Belladama cigars or merch or whatever. It's usually cigars because I give the merch to my players. So yeah, it's a really cool concept. It's still small. It's not in the infancy stages, but with this relaunch, and then we got hit with Milton and Helene and all this other stuff. Unfortunately, the Belladama Cigars Player Club took a little bit of a back seat. So last night was the first night that we did our monthly social media giveaway since like September or since August. And that is if you're a Players Club, this is one of the benefits as well. If you say you post something Belladama Cigar related, you put at Belladama Cigars and hashtag BDC Players Club, you get an entry. Last night we had, I don't know, or not last night, night before, close to 100, right? We've had it before where it's almost 200. But that's over months. Don't get me wrong. But now everybody I can see already, they're amping up because they see, okay, we're back in the game. We're playing again, right? But again, we had a hiatus there to get through this transition, and then as well as, the inclement weather. I'll put it to you mildly. So that's what the Players Club is.
But it's intriguing.
And I saw you just
Thank you.
had a whole trunk full of.
I had a what? Couldn't hear you, hon.
You had a whole trunk full of shipments.
You guys. So I'm just weird like this. I can give away sticks all day long. I can give away cash credits. And last night I screwed up, actually. I was exhausted. I was supposed to give away cash credit. I didn't. I gave instead a wild card and a king to place in your hand if they have something already. Yeah, so I try not just to do cigars, but I try to do stuff that is really cool gifts and you wouldn't choose for yourself, right? So I want someone to open a package and say, all right, it's like my birthday and stuff. So that's how I roll with that. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. We have a private Facebook group. It's not very active right now. Of course, there are people that are active, but it's not very active because we just got through this whole little cyclone. Now we're back on track. So thank you for asking.
Well, I got to tell you, it's not only a great marketing, it's great for people as you brought up before about remembering. It's like, hey, belong to a select group. I'm able to get really cool merch, great cigars. I absolutely think, again, and I don't, so this is what I used to tell, matter of fact, I still go going. I don't have to lie to you. I don't have to make things up.
Right?
You're going to be a force to reckon with in this industry. I mean, you
Oh.
truly are.
Oh.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
absolutely proud to have you as our first guest ladies night, and I look forward to building a friendship with you. And as Angry Beaver Cigars and BAM, we look forward to maybe doing some charity work with you.
Yes.
That'd be phenomenal
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
God
For sure.
bless.
Thank you.
All the luck in the world. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
22nd.
Yes.
Yes.
And
So yes, Lou just has to send me that info so I
he's
can look
gonna
into
send you
it
the stuff.
now.
I'll make sure.
Don't worry.
We are gonna
Thank you.
we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, and just
Yes.
hang on 2 minutes so we'll talk to you off
Yes,
recording
for
a
sure.
second. But from the Beavers Den and Angry Beaver Cigars, from Lou, P, and I, and from Dawn, please keep following us. Look for Bella Dama Cigars. The cigars are incredible. She's incredible. The company's incredible. For all of you women out there in the industry, there's nothing sexier in the world than a strong woman with an intelligent mind who sets forth and gets something started. So again, God bless. Stay on. We'll talk to you soon. Everybody else, we'll see you next week for the
so much.
Beavers
Thank
Den.
you.
If
Good
anybody
night.
wants to be on the Den,
Yes.
reach out to us. Reach out to us on Facebook, Angry Beavers on Facebook, or you can reach out to us on Cigar Lounge USA, which Luke P has been running for a while, 4 or 5 years. Reach out to us. You can send us cigars to check. You can send us swag to check. We have no problem promoting small business. If we don't promote ourselves, the large companies will not promote us for us. So it's all about the little guys. So let's get out there and kick some ass. Chantel, thanks again.
Yes. Thank you.
And we're out. Thank you.
Thank you.